All right, and we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heroes World Sidekick Show presents our Cobra Kai special. So we have gathered the team together. I don't know if you watched the episode that came out a couple weeks ago.
You
We did Cobra Kai, yeah, season 1 and 2, and our initial thoughts on season 3, episode 1. So let's talk a little bit about season 3. So I wanted to get everyone's first, if anyone hasn't seen Cobra Kai and is checking this out and maybe just wants to decide if they want to see Cobra Kai or not. I just wanted to give an overall kind of thoughts on season 3. We covered season 1 and 2 kind of before when we talked about it. So season 3, did it live up to the hype? This is the first full season out on Netflix. And now everyone can watch it. Like we mentioned before previously, YouTube Premium, no one was really kind of catching it. It was kind of weird, kind of telling people to watch it, and you're telling them how to watch it, and you're telling them to log on to YouTube, and they're like, "No, I'm not going to do that." So, season 3, Tim, what do you think overall? Season 3, did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, man, for sure. I think I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good season. I will say that I feel like they tried to get a little bit too serious. So I know I'm probably in the minority here on this one, but I feel like they went a little bit too aggressive at times. I was like, you got to scale it back a little bit. But overall, yeah, good season. Yeah, what more is there to say? It was more Cobra Kai. That's all we wanted, right? So
yeah,
we're good. Yeah, and season 4, they announced immediately, right? I think we talked about this last time too, but they announced season 4 right away. So that's been greenlit, and so that we know that there's more coming too. So.
Well, it's kind of like gangbusters right now. Like it's like one of the high. I don't know if it was on a highest streamed show or whatever, but it was trending for quite some time. Chris, what do you think? Did this exceed expectations or?
Yeah, I was pretty down on season 2. This one, I think, was slightly better. I would call this season in itself uneven to me. The nostalgia bits, the grown-up bits, the Johnny Lawrence parts are all good. We're not doing spoiler, right? So, but the kid stuff was way no good. I don't know how to describe it. Way no good, but I found it very uneven in that sense. So, nostalgia good, Johnny Lawrence good. Kid stuff needs an overhaul, and I can get into details as to why. But I would say it was okay.
Okay, sorry, my computer's going nuts for some reason. I don't know if you're hearing that. I'm getting all these messages to support my laptop or something like that. It's kind of strange. All right, sorry, Duncan. What do you think overall season 3?
I think both Chris and Tim hit the nail on the head again. The stuff with the kids, it is uneven. It's kind of like they heard what I said last week, in the past, and then did season 3, except they took it too far the other direction. Now, instead of having, a bunch of kid stuff and, have it being typical kid stuff, now they've scaled back on the kid stuff, but they've packed so much into it, if that makes any sense. It's too, serious, over the top, implausible. Well, not entirely implausible. I don't know. I think I get the feeling, my sense is that, hey, thanks. I get the feeling that they just try to switch it up a bit. It ends up being a bit of a wash. With the kids stuff. But everything else, the nostalgia factor, that was worth the price of admission right there. Those 2 episodes worth. They just kind of pack it all in and some of the backstories. So it makes everything else, easily palatable.
Yeah. Okay. So overall, we're pretty pleased with the way season 3 came out. It was still, I think Tim stated, or one of you guys stated earlier, that it's still produced by YouTube and was sold to Netflix. So I guess we'll wait till season 4 to see if there's any kind of big money or big, kind of hands reaching into the pot kind of changes and stuff. So we'll since we've seen all 3 seasons now, and season, let's go into full spoilers, folks. So if you haven't watched it, we are all pretty much recommending you watch this show. So let's get into season 3. So spoilers are on the table now. So if you haven't seen it, folks, definitely go watch it and come back here. I don't know how fast you can watch it and maybe catch the end of the show or something, or you can rewatch it on the replay. So let's talk. So season 1 was, I felt like it was really good in establishing Johnny's journey and the whole kind of flipped version of this story. And then season 2 continued the story, and then we had that wicked end of the season school fight. Season 3, do we have anything that kind of just just stands out was the big LaRusso siege fight on the house. The topper, does it beat the school scene, Tim?
No, I don't think so. Like, to me, that's where the show was getting too serious. Like, I admit I couldn't binge this show all at once. Like, I tried to, but I had to take breaks because it was getting a little bit blah for me. That last fight, it's like, where the hell are cops, man? Like, where is any sort of semblance?
There was the one
society?
guy at the beginning.
Like, yeah,
It's a restraining order. Yeah,
it was also a little bit repetitive, right? Like, we had that big blowout fight scene. I do miss like the tournament. Like, I was waiting. I thought that it would end with another tournament, which it obviously, again, we're in spoiler zone, but we know that a tournament's coming, right? They fought back, and we know that a tournament's coming. So to me, I like the sports aspect of it. I like watching the Karate Kid movies for those tournaments, right? Like, it's the Rocky movies. Like, I like that one fight. It's like watching, which one was it? Rocky 4, maybe Rocky 5 was the one where
They all had
actually no, Rocky 5 had none.
5 they fought.
Right? The one with Tommy Gunn. It's just
Watching the streets. Yeah, but
like,
everyone forgets 5 exists. We pretend that one didn't happen. That was the Tommy Gunn one.
Yeah, but so I was missing that. I wanted the tournament. The fight scene in the house, it was amazing, like, well choreographed again, same as the school fight, possibly better. I think they did a good job. And the other part I want to say that I was not enjoying was the whole Kreese stuff. I thought it just too much.
You didn't like Kreese's past?
That was the best. That was awesome.
I like that they gave him the pass. I like that they started to flesh out his character, and I thought, oh, they're going to give you this little bit of a sympathy factor and stuff. But just some of his evilness, it was just too much for the Miyagi verse, I want to say. Like, it was just too serious, right? Like, these are kids we watched, or these are movies we watched as kids back in the 80s. It wouldn't have been that serious. I don't know. So they're obviously trying to play it up for us now, but yeah, you can scale it back. I'm okay. To me, the best parts was the Johnny Lawrence and Miguel. Like, any of their scenes together, that was gold for me.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to cover our favorite moments. So we're going to dive in people. And if anyone has some thoughts that's okay. If anyone has some thoughts in the comics, definitely shoot them out. Let's go to Duncan. Duncan, do you like this? Is this your favorite of all the 3 seasons, or is it kind of in the middle? Or
no, this is definitely. I think they felt like there was kind of alluding to last week or 2 weeks ago. They're hitting their stride now. I mean, everything just clicks. Barring what we kind of discussed with the kids stuff, I think we can all agree on that. Even the Kreese stuff, like, I know Tim, you're saying, it was nice to see the backstory, and I agree. And it's make it a bit complex. Your feelings for it are a bit complicated. This anti-hero, but not really, point of view kind of thing.
Right.
I really liked what they did with him, the whole story. I mean, I don't think it was. I think you think back to the Karate Kid 3, and he's pretty much out for blood. I know he kind of falls in the background, but he's one who initiates the whole thing with Terry Silver and Mike Barnes and all that stuff. So I can't see it being that far-fetched. I mean, sure, it's like 35, 40 years later, but I think they struck a good balance between the evil factor and the TV factor. But great season. The nostalgia factor definitely, and besides the whole Kreese thing, his trip to Okinawa is just those 2 episodes, like I just said 5 minutes ago, worth the price of admission, especially if you're our age. You have memories of watching the original 2, I should say. It's perfect. I think it's great.
And John told me, you told me that the girl that he saved is actually the same actress. So if people don't know that, I don't know if you guys realize this, but John told me that little girl that he ends up saving.
I didn't fact check that.
Oh, dude, forget it. It's out there now in the world, John. It's legit.
What are the odds of you recognizing this girl from, like, I don't know how old, like 30, 20 years ago
in Japan,
when she was a child in a friggin' typhoon on the top of Bali? I remember you.
It was good they showed the clips from the movies, because I don't remember.
Yeah.
I watched them recently. I don't remember a lot of that, and I was like, okay, that's that person. Okay, it's that person. It's really obvious, like hit you over the head with it, like with a mallet, but like I needed that, so it's okay.
Yeah. So Chris, you being the youngest out of us, so I feel like this season did have a lot more of that kind of flashbacks and throwbacks to the other stuff. So what are your thoughts on this season? Is it the best out of the three for you?
I would rank it probably second. The first season I thought was the better one. You know, you're establishing the world and everything like that. And then the second season I thought was just too much, like you guys said before, teenage angst and things like that. And then the third one, it seems like they're getting there. So, like I was talking to John a bit about this before, and it's like I was watching it in kind of sections, and then I watched the last two yesterday. But before that, I was on 8, and I was really low. I was down on this show. I was like, okay, I got to formulate my thoughts for this podcast and really kind of not, go too negative. But then the last 2 episodes kind of brought it back for me. Like the where they're going is good, I think, for season 3. But
yeah. For me, I feel like season 1 still has this magic and the whole bringing William Zabaka. Is it Zabaka or Zapka? Right? Yeah, bringing him back and establishing his story. I feel like for me is the strongest, but I don't know if I would like this. I don't know if that school fight for season 2 elevates it above 3, but season 3 was definitely a hell of a ride. So let's dive into our favorite moments, since we're already kind of like covering them a little bit. People in the comments start dropping in your favorite moments so we can talk about those too. So I'll shout out mine quickly first, and then we'll jump to Duncan and Chris and then Tim and go in reverse order. So my favorite moment was when we get the team up of Johnny Lawrence and Daniel, and they're driving around in the car like Tango and Cash, and they go and fight these chop shop like just gangsters. And they start fighting them together, and it's the silliest thing, but I was like up cheering when they both hit him with Johnny hits him with the low and Daniel hits him with the high at the same time. It's like the silliest thing, but for some reason it just really paid off, I guess, because of the setup of them like not being buddies and then finally kind of working together. I don't know if you have any moments where you were just kind of like, let's rock, Duncan. I don't know.
I definitely share the same opinion about that scene. That was just flat out awesome. But the ones that stand out for me especially are going to be like almost anything involving Kreese, like, because it was really like I don't mean to harp on it, but watching him go from this what was it, like a busboy back in the day, and watch him go from there to Vietnam to killing his CO or whatever to survive. Like that's just good writing right there. And it was just like like at the end where he's stomp on his fingers, you're like, yeah, just do it. You're getting right into it. That was tough to ignore. I really like that. And also like the stuff with Chosen, like anything like this, watching watching the animosity, you're not quite sure what's going to happen. Is he still pissed off at him, at each other, or are they going to reconcile? And it kind of comes through in the end. And that was just awesome. That was perfect.
Yeah. Shout outs to Gordon in the comments, who also mentions that Chosen beating up Daniel, and then he goes for the final move, and he looks like he's been setting up this revenge for like 30 years, and he's gonna like murder Daniel in the woods, and then he like honks his nose, and he just starts laughing especially the way he played it leading up to that, just as like this quiet kind of like, I'll show you around the island kind of thing. So Chris, what do you got for your favorite scenes?
You guys kind of touched on it. The team up was good. The Chosen part, I like that. His whole kind of pilgrimage to Japan, not randomly, but to save his business, and then kind of lucking out to do it. I like the Chosen part was good, and how they kind of ended it, and they kind of brought back the whole Karate Kid thing, which is like you learn some technique at some point, and then you use it on the final boss kind of thing. Kind of like that. I was like, oh, he's going to use that. He's going to use that on Kreese. Kreese going like super over the top villain, like no remorse, just, proper villain in this show was good. And just looking at my notes, sorry. Johnny starting a new dojo. That was cool. Like, finally this guy gets together, starts a new dojo. Yeah. You
like the name of the dojo?
Eagle Fang,
Eagle Fang Karate, and then that guy's like, "Sir, eagles don't have." He's like, "Shut up!" I forgot what he calls him, like penis breath or something like that. Like I don't know. It was pretty funny. All right, Tim, you got a favorite moment before we jump over to the comments?
I'll say two parts. One was the part when Chosen like demanded to get the drink for Daniel. I thought that was a pretty funny comedic moment, right? No, I'll get it, right? I thought that was good. But my favorite moment, of course, was when my boy Hawk, when he reverted back and he turned and he saved Eli in that fight. I thought that was awesome because I was really worried that they were going to leave him as being a villain, which he didn't fit that role. And I thought, okay, you've already got Johnny's kid switching over to Cobra Kai now, and he's there with Tori.
Robbie, yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, they don't need two alpha males there, kind of thing. And so to have Hawk turn back was a good thing. I like that turn. I was happy to see that happen before season 4, right? So that's pretty cool. That was my favorite moment, of course, because he's the best fighter. So
quick question before you. I don't know if you had another one, Tim, but quick question. Me and your buddies, right? I go and I break your arm.
Yeah.
Are we still buddies later on?
And John and I mean, spoiler alert, but John and I have like argued this in private messaging for a little while. So yeah, I'm going to say you saved me from certain death, John. I'm allowing you to break my arm that one time, and I'm going to forgive you. I think I'm that.
Okay, here's my issue with Hawk's turn.
John didn't even hear him say that I apologize, that I forgive him. I don't know.
Yeah, so sorry. I don't know what's going on. I got a new setup, and my earphones just cut out. So sorry, Tim. I'll listen to that back.
Please do.
And if we're still buddies, did you have any other moment that you want to jump in?
No. But go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I'll jump into the comments. Sarah, who's with us, has got some really cool moments. Like I think first one she says is Daniel's old girlfriend. I want to say her name, was it Kumiko or something like that? Yeah. When they actually she's talking about the Yuna. So she's talking about the younger girl. When he
saved her.
When the reveal of the girl from the tower. But I was gonna say that scene with Kumiko sharing the letters from Miyagi. That was one of those things where I was like, I'm not crying, you're crying. And she's reading it, she's like, I'm part of the family, and Sam calls me like the Japanese word for grandfather or something. I'm like, damn, you guys really going for it, eh? So do you think Daniel like told his wife that he met up with his original old flame that he had to like fight a guy to the death for?
I think that's the season 5 storyline will be the.
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
And then and Sarah also brings up Amanda and Ali meeting, which is one of my favorite moments. So there's a lot of little little things, like Chris mentioned the last podcast when Daniel and his wife are at the meeting and someone yells out, "I heard you were the bully." Like there's all these little moments. Yeah. The moment when they meet, and Amanda goes, "Oh, you're Ali," and then she's like, "I can't wait to talk to you." I'm like, that was like a great little kind of like thing that they just threw in there.
Yeah.
And oh wow, Sarah's going crazy. He's got like everything. I don't know if you guys want to talk about. Do you guys see the comments, or do you guys not see the comments? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
So Hawk and Dimitri fighting together. Tim, you're the big Hawk fan. How did you feel about Hawk and Dimitri fighting side by side, rush hour styles?
Yeah, that was awesome, man. And like I feel that sets up for them next year, right? And into whatever is going to happen, but they're going to be back to being buddies, and the binary brothers going to start kicking some ass. So yeah, no, I like it. I like that they've and like I said, I think that I like that they've brought all the, quote unquote good characters back onto one side now. Now Cobra Kai is just full of all these jerks, right? That are going to follow Kreese and all that. So I like that we're not split. I mean, aside from Robbie, I guess, but we're not split anymore between, do we like the guys on this side or do we like the guys on that side? I mean, my only problem is that the show is called Cobra Kai, and you've now got Cobra Kai being full of like total jackasses.
It's going to be renamed.
Really not going to. Yeah, like, and I got to trade the shirt in now for an Eagle Fang shirt. Like, I don't know where I'm going to do that.
Marketing 101, man.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm all set to buy more. Bring it on.
Oh man! All right. Any other moments you wanted, Duncan? You got anything else that do you remember from this season clearly?
There's just way too many to mention.
Yeah,
I think really you could spend the entire podcast talking about what about this, and then that, and that. Just way too many.
Yeah, Chris.
Well, Rob, Rob yesterday in your podcast yesterday, which if you guys don't listen, The Sidekick show does their podcast on Mondays at 8. So, tune in then because they're doing the 80s action movie draft. But Rob was talking yesterday, good buddy Rob, who was harping on me all day yesterday. So that was tough. But Rob was talking about how his son had never seen any of the movies before and is crazy on Cobra Kai. So I feel like that's, for those of you that are listening, maybe people that haven't necessarily seen it, but that's a pretty good sell, right? Where his son, who had no understanding of the old movies, is still vested in this thing, and to him, I guess, as a kid, right, you're watching it. And when all those backstory shots take place, like all the flashbacks, that's kind of cool because you're like, normally in movies, when they try to do that, they get like other actors to play those roles, or they like make up the actors to make them look young. But in this case, like it's actual footage of that storyline. So imagine if you're a kid watching this for the first time, you've never seen the Karate Kid movies, and now you get all these flashbacks, and it's like, holy crap, that really is Daniel LaRusso back then, right? Like, how cool is that? So that's a pretty good sell.
Well, you watch a lot of the Hallmark movies and stuff like that, and maybe my brother. I don't know, Duncan, if you watch a lot of
Netflix Christmas specials.
Yeah. A lot of the time they jump to the past, and what they do is they put like a backwards hat on the actor or something like that. That makes them look younger.
Longer hair.
Yeah, it always makes me laugh. They usually just try to throw longer hair, or literally just try to put a backwards hat so they look like they're an extra from like Friends in the 90s or something like that. It's always really funny to see. So now that we're talking funny stuff, do you guys have any funny or or we can kind of take it to a little bit of the criticisms? Were there any kind of like silly scenes that you were kind of like still with the cringe? Like I'll throw out a silly moment was when Miguel finally is able to walk, and they do a slow motion walk and they throw away the wheelchair and the crutches into the dumpster. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Tim, do you have anything that you thought was funny or silly?
Aside from the Chosen with the drink thing, funny part. Skip me. Go around.
So let's hit Chris. He might have some because he was saying he wasn't feeling it up until like episode 9.
Oh, okay. I guess not. It's not silly as in like, oh, it's fun. It is really bad. Is the there's a soccer scene in this show.
Yes,
and it's an insult to anybody who ever even like looked at a soccer ball before. It's like so bad. I can't believe that got put in there, and I thought that was really cringy and not the best.
Yeah, it's almost like it's so bad that it's forgettable, that you almost forget that they did this silly scene where it's like, we're gonna get our revenge, and they proceed to play very poor soccer. I guess.
Again, I played soccer growing up. I got yellow cards for way less than what they were doing. But
just like kicking people in the head, I'm just gonna kick you in the head, and it's gonna be fine.
on the Cobra Kai Instagram, though, they did show the scene, and it was slow-mo of where Daniel's daughter, whatever her name is,
Samantha,
where Samantha trips the kid. And it shows in slow-mo, like the actual takedown. It's amazing, man. Like when it shows the way that she intertwines her leg to do the sweep on the kid. And then that's where, like, after he falls down, then she gets up and steps on him. But if you watch that actual take, like I remember watching it, I was like, oh, this is so stupid. But then when you watch it, I'm like, oh my God, that choreography was great. Like the way she takes him down is a really tricky move. So it's cool.
It was funny because the coach is immediately like the coach. I don't know if they put that scene in after or whatever. The coach starts making faces like, I know something's up. You guys aren't concealing anything.
Yeah.
Chris, do you think there would have been a better sport that they could have used that wouldn't have looked so bad? Like, do you think basketball is easier to fake? I know we watched a lot of One Tree Hill, but
not the way they did it with kicks to the face and things like that. Like, I don't know how they could have covered that up better, but it needed to be a little more thought out, I think. Yeah.
All right, Duncan, you got anything silly?
Kind of along the same lines of as Chris was saying, it's more cringe-worthy than anything. I know we touched on this last time. One of like a big pet peeve of mine is the whole. I'm not gonna say social justice, but the whole over-the-top parenting, high school thing. We touched on how they set up the metal detectors and security and whatever, and it just gets worse from there. The way Hawk kind of plays, like when the teacher's not looking, he's starting crap, and then when the teacher comes along, he's like, oh, dude, invaded my personal space or bubble or whatever, and it just kind of spirals from there. It's even coming down to like the PTA meetings, coming down even to the Cobra Kai with the the All Valley under 18 tournament, and they're having that discussion. It's too much.
So a little over the top.
The double speech to save the tournament.
Yeah, and it was very tropey, but they hammered the point early on, and they just didn't let up. They kept the foot on the gas pedal with respect to the teachers and all this other stuff. It just that was about the only silly / cringy part. Although I do agree with Chris that the whole soccer game thing was like, again, they'd already hammered that point home. We know the rivalry's there. Can we stop with it already, or at least find something better?
Yeah. Imagine if they had thrown in some other scene, but yeah, that would be fun. The funny thing about that meeting was when John Kreese goes up to do his speech, and he's like a Vietnam vet, a respected member of the community, and it's like working. It's like, and then Daniel and Johnny come in and like start interrupting the speech. I'm like, why don't you guys just shut up? He's trying to get your tournament back. like it looks like they're totally
they're all on the same.
Yes,
goal.
It looks like they're eating up exactly what he's saying, and they're like, no. It's like, do you guys want this tournament to happen or not?
Yeah. Well, one thing I just wanted to mention before we move off of it was Tim mentioned it before. Is like, where are the cops in this situation? I think the show's going to have to find a way to like address why cops aren't called for certain things. Like, I think I was talking to John about it earlier. It's like your son gets his arm broke in a fight with a guy, and it's like, yeah, permanent damage for the rest of his life. Whatever, fine. No, don't even call the cops. Like, I know they had that restraining order thing, but they need to find a way because it kind of takes you out of it, and you're just like, oh my god, like.
Well, the attempted homicide of the Chinese kid.
Oh,
and the robbery, right? Like that never gets anything. Like,
and you know who did it too. It's not like they had masks on and they did it. They know who did it, and I don't know, it took me out of it in a sense where you can't just think of something like either don't do it to that extreme, like just have him get like jacked like anonymously, masks on, or like don't break his arm, just beat him up, so it's not that bad. But like you have to address that in a sense, and I don't want to. So I'm so serious about the show. Everything has to be super realistic, but it's something that's a bit too over the top.
But that's what I mean, though, right? Like the aggression was turned up a notch in season 3, and I don't know whether that's because it was Netflix and they felt like, oh, we've got to make this a little bit edgier, right, to keep the people, because we know what else is on TV nowadays, right? So I don't know if they did that, but that's where to me it fell off a little bit, because again, like whether you say, well, because there's no cops, but it's just that violence level was just like too much, I thought.
Yeah, and in the final fight, and it's just, I know it's just the optics of Miguel getting his back punched over and over again while he's like realizing he can do something. I'm like, this is like the guy had like spinal surgery like a month ago or whatever. I don't know how the timeline works there. People heal really fast. They just listen to some D. Snyder and they heal. But I mean, like just punching him in the back over and over again, a guy who had spinal surgery. I'm just kind of like, oh, like I don't know. I know it's not supposed to be so serious, but it was weird.
That's okay. Kyler got his.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. My internet is having issues.
We're doing the tiers already. Let's go.
We're moving around.
I shuffled you guys off. Sorry, I don't know. I'm having a hell of a week here with my.
No worries.
Only Tuesday.
All right. I still got a ways to go. Damn it! All right, so let's jump to the tiers, because I think in talking about the tiers, we're gonna talk a little bit more of the show. And again, thanks for everyone for tuning in. So let's go. So tiers here. So this is the list we had before. Although I'm pretty sure that's the list we had before, right? These kids down the bottom, yeah. So I don't know if we want to move. Do you guys want to move some of these people around first, or do you want to start introducing new characters into the mix?
I think Chosen's twin brother.
Baby
Chosen. With building this thing right
so many
at the
twins
beginning.
on this show. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Like literally, I'm having like all these technological issues.
Doesn't Chosen have to go above Daniel though?
Yeah.
You think? Yeah. You think
that's obvious.
Chosen up
now? Yeah.
Does Chosen? Are you okay with Chosen knowing all these extra techniques that Daniel didn't know? Like, is that, do we find that believable?
Yeah.
That Mr. Miyagi. Yeah. I feel like Daniel, like, I feel like Mr. Miyagi knew Daniel didn't kind of have the natural talent, so maybe didn't teach him everything.
Yeah.
Do we think
he was focusing on defense, right? That was the whole thing.
I think he got Daniel to a point where like defense, he bought into the way, and like that was that. Like he didn't need to like teach him anymore. I think maybe.
Yeah, I feel like Mr. Miyagi is almost more teaching Daniel about life. And other guys like Johnny Lawrence learning from Kreese and stuff were just learning to be fighting machines. So maybe that's why he's not as strong. We'll use that word. Do we want to move John Kreese? John Kreese had a hell of a finale here this season, fighting both Johnny Lawrence and Daniel.
He did lose, technically, I guess, lose to both. I think he would go, at the end of A tier, I think.
No, hold on. But he had to fight them all in succession. That's like Shawn Michaels winning the Rumble after coming in number one. I mean, I feel like he has to stay his spot. I thought he'd move up to S because essentially he was like knocking them all off until they had to like pretty much triple team him, right? I mean, endurance wise. But I don't. Yeah.
No, but hang on a second though. But Kreese did go for a weapon as well. So I mean, is that a handicap or like is that okay? Is that considered?
Who had the weapon first? I feel like Johnny grabbed the weapon off the wall, right?
Yeah, and then he put it down though after his son was like, "Don't do it" or something, and then he dropped.
Yeah, and then Kreese gets it, so it's almost like fight fire with fire, like a.
He has him beat in mono fair and square, and then the son pulls him off, and then that's when Kreese gets the advantage. So I think he should be below that.
I'm with Chris.
All right, so we'll leave him here for now. Definitely, people get in the comments. Let's talk about. Okay, so let's talk about this tier here, B tier. Now that we've seen a lot of different things happen, so Miguel is definitely not as strong as he used to be, and Hawk definitely did. I see why Tim was such a Hawk fanboy, and it seems like generally everybody in the comments or on our YouTube, our previous video and stuff, everyone is like saying Hawk is like either their favorite or just the best fighter in the show. So do you guys want to move? Should Miguel and Hawk maybe switch places?
No, I feel like you got to leave Miguel way up there. But I feel like Hawk just has to at least move up 2 spots, if not. Yeah. So because he's the guy that essentially turns the tide in the house too, right?
True.
I mean, it's kind of when he turns, that's what then.
Here's the thing about a Hawk's turn. I wanted to address it earlier. He's the ringleader, and then he turns like that. Does that not work for you guys? Like he's the guy who's leading them in all these like jerk moves and making them bad guys, and then he decides to turn on his disciples. I guess it seems kind of odd to me. Like I feel like they should have, like you were saying, they rushed it a bit. I think it might have been better if they had maybe drawn that out a bit more. But his turn kind of. It felt like it wasn't earned to me.
It was very sudden, but I really liked it.
Yeah, I like him being on the right side. It's good because I actually liked him when he was being a bully too. Like I liked how he was going about it. It was really funny, but like it seemed sudden to me. I'm like, oh, this is where he's gonna do it. Like I don't know. It's just.
I agree, but didn't Sam like hand his rear end to Hawk there in that end fight scene? Like before he flips back over, like it's Sam and Hawk, isn't it? Like are they fighting for a bit and Sam throws him around or some nonsense?
I don't think so. Was that?
I don't know. We'd have to do an instant replay. But I can't. Did they ever fight? I kept looking for that, and I kept thinking that the girls seemed to be fighting the no name guys. Yeah, I kept looking for the girls like to see who they were fighting against, not only because of this podcast, but because I was just interested how even the show would portray them being in terms of skill level versus the main characters. I couldn't remember that they fought the main guys though, or definitely not Sam.
Yeah, I guess the 5 there didn't really face off at any point. I would have made a note of it. Oh, other than Sam and
other than Sam and Tori. And do we feel that Tori was going to win that fight if it didn't get broken up?
Well, apparently not. Because I mean, she held that bow to her the staff to Victoria afterwards.
Yeah, she disarms her, right? Yeah, she disarms her, and Tori is beat. But it takes her a good while to get there. So I don't know if we want to move her. Unfortunately, Robbie doesn't really interact with anybody else, really.
Take him off for inactivity, man. Just get him out.
He's got to vacate the title.
We can address this later, but yeah, get him out of here.
Yeah,
he's the most unlikable character on the show now. Like is he? Knowing Daniel now.
Yeah. I think they needed a new bad guy, so he's set up to be in the 4th season to be much more of a focus. Okay, let's. Well,
I think we would all agree to move Sam above Robbie, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would put him down a tier.
Down to, I don't
Yeah,
think
maybe the
I
leader
think
of the
Robbie
team.
is, I think Robbie is still very good, and he's learned.
He's
I guess he's learned
unranked
some
due to
new.
inactivity, man.
Yeah. Let's bring in this character. I believe his name was Sean. He was the guy in the prison. And he I don't know if he was a good fighter or he just kind of ganged up. So I don't know if he requires to have advantage in numbers. But he does kind of befriend Robbie in the end. So I don't know if he's going to kind of come back and we're going to see him again.
Was that fight? Was that a draw kind of between the two of them too?
I think Robbie basically beats him, and then the guards come in. They pull them apart.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like he would definitely be up here. Although it's hard. That I thought it would be a great idea to do this, but then a lot of these characters don't interact, so it's
Really
kind of
fight
hard
that
to-
much. There's no tournament.
Yeah. We don't have another giant school fight that had all the characters interacting. We had a good chunk of the kids. I don't know. Let's get to this guy Kyler. He came back. And
baby Joe.
Yeah. He'd become a wrestler, I believe. It looks like when Kreese is recruiting him, he's wrestling. So I guess because he got beat up, he decided to start learning something. So if he's some type of grappler or something, he does fight Miguel, but Miguel doesn't have his kick back, his footwork back.
Still
And
beats
then
him.
he gets it back, and then he beats him after, right? So I don't know if this character, is he better than Hawk, Tim?
Hell no, of course not. Nope.
There's no evidence.
I don't. Hold on. I might say that he's just right below Hawk, though. I mean, they're definitely setting this guy up to be that high, right? Like he's kind of going to be the number 2, at least, right? For Cobra Kai, he's going to be behind Robbie.
I think now he is, because now they've lost Hawk.
Right.
I don't know however many other recruits they would have lost.
So he's got to be good. He's a little bit more well-rounded because he's got, the multi-sport skills. He's got the wrestling skills, and the way these guys street fight, he's going to need that. I don't know. I'm going to say between Hawk and Tori.
Hawk and Tori. You think he's a better fighter than Tori? I feel like Tori's still up there.
Yeah, I feel like Tori was beating up those no-name guys, which are kind of at like the like almost the same level as a C guy, maybe a bit lower, but she beat up so many of them that.
Yeah. She's racking up points by beating the tomato can.
Yeah. She's,
I don't know.
She's like getting points in garbage time.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh man. Okay, let's
the Trey
keep the
Young
comments.
of this list for you NBA fans out there. Yeah.
I think just you, Chris. Sorry. All right, let's try and jump to the comments for a little help here. So we've got Gordon and Sarah here, who were here last time. Thank you guys for jumping in the chat here. Let's see. I see a death to Sam. I don't know if that just means that she should be on the bottom tier or not.
They never addressed that. She addressed she brought them to that arcade for that corny fight at the arcade. She was the one who brought them in there to do that, and she never even took responsibility for that.
She got rocked. Yeah. That was definitely the most brutal scene in the whole series. I was like, damn, they're really going there. So Sarah does say Tori's way better than Sam. Let's see here. Got a couple. So Tim's friend, one of Tim's other accounts here. Chosen Johnny.
Another file photo.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of people are saying Tori stays up there. I think Tori is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Let's adjust some of these other guys first. Mitch and Chris. Did we see any change with these guys? I feel like Mitch got a little bit more action during that fight. He's the one who's kind of like, come on, and he's kicking a lot more.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I feel like Dimitri's got to be at least in C level.
I feel
maybe behind the prison guy, like, because he is getting good. No,
he in that scene, I don't know when the training kicked in, when he teams up with Hawk, he kicks some ass. And also he gets the girl, which I feel like should boost him. Like he's making out with this character's name's Yasmin. I kept calling her by her
S tier.
Yeah. S tier to me too. Under Miyagi.
Yeah. Wait, you gotta go way out of his league. S tier.
How about Nathaniel and Bert? So Nathaniel takes a beating like a G. This season,
and 3-on-1 thrashing.
Instantly recovers.
Size,
Bert goes to find a cat and gets magically thrown through a window on the other side of the house,
and doesn't die.
And he lands on the floor and he says, "There's no cat." So I feel like that's kind of hardcore too. Like I don't know, like the ability, like almost like the Rocky Balboa factor of just taking a beating. I don't know if we can actually decide which of these two guys.
The Homer Simpson.
I feel like Bert just gets his ass kicked every chance he gets.
Yeah.
All right, so let's any movement on these before we add these other two characters in just for fun?
No, we're good.
Good. All right, cool. So obviously so we'll do a little bit of season 4 predictions here. We're pretty certain that Kreese is calling Terry Silver.
Yep.
Jaden Smith, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah, but if you've seen Karate Kid Part 3, he's not that. He gets handily beaten by Miyagi. So I don't know if he's even that great of a fighter. He kind of does like the kind. He fakes it, and then Miyagi just kicks his ass. So I don't know if he's one of the guys that maybe bought his black belt from Kreese.
Yeah. He's the money. Yeah, he's the money of the Cobra Kai.
Yeah. He's definitely that guy in the Vietnam flashbacks. That gets freed from the cage. He's like, anything you need from me, give me a call. But there was a nice kind of bait and switch. They had the other guy with the ponytail. Although in the army, I don't know if you're allowed to have ponytails, but whatever. I don't think they're going for accuracy in this. And then they kill that guy, and you're like, oh my god, what happened?
Yeah.
I thought this was a documentary. You mean it's not?
Yeah. Apparently, it's not as historically accurate. I don't know if that snake pit came from some kind of tales from back then, but it's hella horrifying if it does. And then let's throw Mike Barnes in here. I'm sure none of you guys have seen Karate Kid 3. But this guy kicks Daniel LaRusso's ass really easily. And then basically in the final match, he's kind of like screwing around. He's kind of like getting points and then getting points eliminated. And then so much so that he makes the match end up in the kind of like the next point wins, which Daniel LaRusso gets like almost like a fluke hit.
Sudden death.
But that was a wicked clip. The clip that they show in the show, which is the don't give in to fear. You can lose to your enemy, but don't lose to fear. It's probably the only good thing worth watching in that movie. So I don't know if this guy goes like all the way here in anticipation.
I think for the sake of plot and like story, he has to be up there at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no way. Like that seems to be the Russo family trait. Kind of suck the egg and then be like, oh look, lucky shot, I win and I'm great now. A lot of that going on. So I say Barnes at that.
Yeah. Like one thing about the show too is like Kreese is a great villain, but he old man. He can't. You can tell he's not doing a lot of the fighting.
These two characters,
they need to have someone younger to do the fighting, the actual fighting. So I think he's got to go in, man.
Yeah.
As a high tier.
He's going to have to come in and be a powerhouse. The other thing with Kreese is every time you see him, he's coming out of a washroom with a towel in his hand. Like this guy is always washing his hands. He's very clean. Like I like that about him. So good for him. But he's got a towel everywhere. Always in his hand. He's washing. Always washing. Anytime you enter that dojo, he's just coming out of the washroom. So
clean dojo, man.
Yeah, very clean. Very clean.
Yeah, how many amenities does that dojo have? I feel like it's got like 2 dojos. It's got the main dojo, and then it's got like another hidden dojo, and then it has some type of spa where he's getting all these towels.
Yeah. Oh, it's got such towel service, like on par with like the best Equinox, whatever it is. But yeah, clean white towels all the time.
Yeah. let's leave Barnes here. Sarah does mention in the comments that the actor that played Barnes looks pretty good right now, and if you do watch him in the interviews, he still looks pretty young.
Wait, this guy's on interviews now. He's coming back for sure.
He's been on Cobra Kai Theory and things like that, talking about
okay,
coming back for the show and things like that. So I'm pretty sure he's down with it. I don't know.
I think it's natural progression to get.
Yeah. We might only get carried through. Yeah. So Gordon mentions that that Silver did supposedly train Barnes, but I guess sometimes you could be a good teacher, but not a good, not a skilled fighter.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. Are we happy with this for now?
Looks good to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so
looks pretty good.
I think so.
We'll stick to this. There's a little bit of a closer look for you folks. So that's the tier list. Hopefully you guys thought that was entertaining. Let's move on to another quick game. And we're gonna draft our favorite characters. So we're each gonna pick 2 characters. And we're going to do snake draft. So I'm going to randomly determine the snake draft. So let me set up something here.
Is this randomized, John?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to randomize this. All right. So first pick. And then if you guys are familiar with snake draft or not, so we're each going to go through and pick one guy. And then whoever's last in line is going to get to pick 2 guys. And then we're going to go back up. And then all right. And then I don't know what we're going to do after that. I'm going to figure it out.
What is the
Tim first overall. This is good.
No. He's got to spin it down.
All right, so I'm going to spin it.
Oh, you're spinning now.
Okay, here we go.
I want him to really think about it.
The first pick goes to...
What are the criteria? Are we talking like best fighters or...
No, just like whoever.
No, your favorite characters. And then...
Okay.
Oh, so it is going to go to Tim. So pick.
There you go.
Oh my God. So, what's the girl's name again?
Let's go. Do I need to copy this down? Hold on, that's music. We don't need that. Let me get this up.
Oh, we're gonna see all of John's bookmarks.
Yeah. Sorry, don't look at my notes.
Tabs, so that's
my messy notes.
History.
So type in the letter P, please.
All right, Tim. Who is your first choice?
All right, hold on. Let me consult. Got it. Good. All right, we're going with Hawk.
Shocker,
baby.
Least surprising draft pick ever.
Spoiler alert.
All right, so let's. All right, so who's gonna get second pick? I don't know if I can set how long this takes, but I should have hit the button earlier.
Longer.
Ooh, oh, okay. This is.
Oh man.
All right,
rigged.
Oh, he won.
All right, so second choice going to me. I got to take Miguel. I think I take Miguel over Johnny Lawrence right now. Just because we didn't talk about it before. I think this character has shown the most growth in the show. Like, he starts off at the beginning. He's totally the bad guy. If you go back and rewatch season 1, that tournament where he's kind of emulating Johnny and kicking everyone's ass, he's very, like, he definitely goes all the way to the negative side and then kind of comes back, especially this season when he's teaching Johnny Lawrence how to use Facebook and stuff. Like, that stuff was great. I was like, I want to see more of that. Even like if Miguel becomes the main character, if they have 8-10 seasons of this, I'm definitely down with that. So I got Miguel. Let's see.
Yeah, 2 things about that pick. Yeah, Miguel is all heart. He's a great character on the show, and he grounds Johnny. Like, he's the one who brings Johnny. Like,
we don't talk enough about Miguel.
Yeah.
All right.
I just remember that scene when he's talking with Sam in the dojo, like that really cringy scene where he's talking with Sam in the dojo and all the lovey-dovey stuff. He's like, in my mind, I'm just like, this guy's all heart, man. Like, he doesn't want to be on the side of the non-bully, or sorry, he doesn't want to be on the side of the bullies and that thing. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. My pick is Johnny Lawrence. Come on, this is it's criminally that he would go this late in the draft, but yes, he's the star of the show. He's the reason why you guys are all watching, I would say, and he's the best fighter. That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
all right,
that's
Duncan.
a debate, but yep.
Okay, can we spin the wheel and make sure I actually have to go?
Yeah. Duncan never got to see his name like with the little fireworks.
Oh, you,
I know. One person spin to it.
Fireworks.
What happens?
Fireworks.
And to all the people that are watching,
Yes.
and to all the people that are watching, to all the people that are listening on
I'm too good at
Spotify, you got to come and watch the video to see the special effects that this show has.
Where's the fanfare?
there you go. There we
Yes.
go. And we're
Yes.
all right, so Duncan, you
What a
get
surprise. You get 2 in a row.
Oh, you get 2 in a row. Okay,
two
well,
choices.
everybody took everything I wanted. It's not fair. All right, I'm going with Crease, number 1.
Yeah.
That's a good
awesome.
pick.
He's just awesome.
Quick aside, has anyone ever called somebody Dollface before?
Oh yeah. He's just a certified asshole. Like it's great. With a little bit of growth this season, come on.
Yeah. Remember the scene when he puts the pervy landlord's finger in a cigar cutter?
Yeah,
That was pretty badass.
that was excellent.
And to those, because not everybody watches and like studies this stuff as much as some of us, right? But did you guys know, and I'm sure you guys do, but to those that are listening, that the guy that plays the young John Kreese's bully, that's his son in real life.
Yeah.
Does everybody know that? Yeah,
They kind of do the flip. He's the guy who trips him and stuff. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, that's his son. So cool.
His son loved that. Payback, Dad.
Yeah.
All right, I have to pick a second one, do I?
Yeah, you get
This is where it gets tough.
Yeah, I know. This is not fair. No, that's not fair. Does it have to be a regular, or can it be anyone?
anyone from the
I
series.
know Chosen. Chosen was just great.
Chosen, yeah.
That's right.
You get Bert still though, Chris.
Well, you can pick your namesake, Chris.
That's true.
So now we're going backwards. So Chris is up. So off the table is still Hawk, Miguel, Johnny Lawrence, Kreese, and Chosen are now off the table.
I think I have to take Dimitri.
Dimitri?
Oh my god!
man.
I can't believe you just stole that. I can't believe it.
I have to, man. He gets the girl. His arm heals in like 2 days. He's the guy, man.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna pick Dimitri 100% as my second, and I mean,
So you can have the team.
If you think about it, Dimitri truly is the Karate Kid, right? Like he really is the new Karate Kid. He's the guy that's the total wimp. That like Chris says, right? He turns into the good fighter. He gets the girl, right? He's getting cooler and cooler as it goes. I mean, this guy is the Karate Kid. He even looks like
he has his friend back. Yeah, he has his friend back.
Yeah.
Duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do that. I'm gonna take like Rafi or Sam or I guess Tori is a good choice, but I don't know.
Right.
Oh man. Okay, so my second pick is actually I was purposely not mentioning this character much so that you guys would kind of forget about her. But Tim's sister and me are on the same wavelength here. I pick Amanda LaRusso. Because she is awesome in this series. When Johnny and Daniel first team up, she's making fun of them. Like, you guys know you're not cops, right? You're not Tango and Cat. And she's like busting their chops. And then, the whole thing where she slaps Kreese, which he does like a nice kind of judo throw kind of maneuver and turns it against her later. But when she's getting taken away out of that town council meeting because of the restraining order, is just hilarious. And I think she's clearly one of, if not the best actress kind of on the show right now. So I was going to sneak her into the tier, but I didn't want to give her away because I wanted to get her on the draft. I was going to say, can she take Kreese? All right, Tim, final choice is all up to you.
Oh my god, I've got nobody. All right.
That must suck because you knew he was going to take Amanda, and if I didn't take Dimitri, you would have.
You know what? I'm gonna. I know this guy received some hate in the last podcast, but I did like him for the comedic relief that he brought in, and I thought he was more in tune with like the '80s kind of comedy / action. But I'm gonna go with Stingray. I like Stingray.
I like Stingray.
I thought he was good. He had some cool scenes. He was the comedic relief. He was very, like I'm saying, he's very 80s, right? Like you could have seen that exact character in the original Karate Kid. Yeah. So,
but they wouldn't have addressed how old he was too. They would have just like had him there.
Yeah, he would have been a teenager. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm going Stingray. So I've got Hawk and Stingray. That's pretty good.
All right, cool. So anyway, so people in the comments, who if each of us was stuck with these two characters for our own spin-off show now, who is the show that you would want to watch the most? Would it be Tim with Hawk and Stingray being the leftovers of Cobra Kai early years or something like that?
Hawk
Would it be me with Miguel and Amanda, which I feel like would actually be a really good dynamic, as if Amanda takes Miguel on as some type of student. Chris with Johnny Lawrence and Dimitri. I feel like that's actually
You're already watching that show, though. That's the problem.
I feel like Johnny Lawrence is clearly the star of the show. If someone got Johnny Lawrence and Miguel, basically we got the show that's going on right now. Or would you watch Duncan? Okay, I think Duncan got the sleeper hit here, which is Kreese and Chosen together in a show. Which is kind of like crazy.
Yeah, Chosen made such a good impression in his one episode that, I think
So just in case anyone like from Netflix is watching, I own the rights to that now.
Yeah.
That's not actually my thing, but I do anyway. So I want to cut it when they make it. I want to cut.
Yeah. Sarah votes for you also. So right now you're in the lead unless someone else wants to jump in there. So this brings up a good point. So we just did a draft where we each got to pick two of our favorite characters. And nobody picked
Daniel LaRusso.
So if you follow some of the reviews and some of the podcasts and things for this show, Daniel LaRusso gets a lot of hate, or even just the fact that people aren't interested in his story. So I don't know. I want to quickly kind of poll you guys. The Daniel LaRusso hate-o-meter. Do you hate this character, or do you just not really care about his story? Tim, let's go to you first.
Yeah, what's it out of 10?
Let's say out of 10.
I'm like at 100. I could do without him 100%. You could have started the show with him. I feel season 1 you needed him for sure, but after season 1 you could totally get rid of him. I'd be totally fine. Just follow the path of the people that we actually care to watch. So
I agree. I agree. 100%.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Chris, you agree? I was gonna say, when you're watching, especially season 1, you're kind of like, when are they going to get back to Johnny? So Duncan, did you feel the same way?
Yes and no. I mean, I think the hate-o-meter is not quite at 100. But I'll just say it's at about a 5. I could take it or leave it. I mean, without him, you don't have like the throwbacks, the nostalgia stuff, the tie-ins for that. I mean, is that a good enough reason? I don't know. But his character, I think it's, how do you put it? It's nice to see that like post 1980s that he grew up and did well, but he's still like his ego got a bit too big for his britches, and it's nice to see him get his, even though he's a competent fighter and all this. That's all well and good, but it's really good to see him like be conflicted and have his own problems. That's Schadenfreude, but I don't care, and it makes for interesting storytelling. So hate-o-meter's at about a 5. I kind of enjoy it though.
All right, Chris, we didn't get a number from you. Were you at full 10?
You know what? I guess maybe hate is the wrong. I don't really hate him. It's not very interested. I think the more dislikable character is Robbie. I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know what to get into that right now, but yeah, he kind of goes to jail. And the funny thing is, like, Daniel's like, "Oh, you should turn yourself in. Like that'll help." And he totally doesn't let him turn himself in. He kind of springs the cops on him. That's not turning yourself in. Last time I checked, that's letting the cops get you. And then he shows no remorse for what he did. And then
he solves some outs a lot. So
yeah, exactly. This blank look on his
face. That's at 100.
Yeah. But the fact though, and I think John, the fact that we don't really care about Daniel too much, and the fact that we could really do without him in the show is a big credit to the writers of the show who have been able to develop new characters and don't make us only watch for the nostalgia part. So I think that's a kudos to them. Mm-hmm. On the flip side to that, the fact that we all hate Robbie and could care less about this kid, and who seems to be the number one bad guy going into season 4. They're going to have a tough time making us really care about this kid. I haven't cared about him the whole show.
Yeah.
Like, 1 didn't like him, season 2 didn't like him. Yeah. So
I think he's primed to be an absolutely great villain this coming season. He's got kind of the reasoning behind it, and in the background, and if he's going to be under Kreese now, and I always like a good villain. So this show has actually done a really good job of kind of giving each villain kind of own story, like kind of how John Kreese got his own kind of backstory. So yeah, Daniel LaRusso, I wouldn't say I hate him. I do like a lot of the moments that he brought, especially to this season, trying to save his dealership and that kind of stuff. But he was I think he was one of the last people to sign on to do the show. So it would have been an interesting take if he didn't come onto the show right away, and maybe he showed up later, like or came on only as a cameo, like Elizabeth Shue or something like that. But back in the day, what's his name? Who plays Daniel LaRusso? Ralph Macchio. I don't know, I had a brain fart there. He was recently on either Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, and he talked about other people that he saw auditioning for this part. So I don't know if we replaced Ralph Macchio with any of these actors, if you would be more interested in his story, or would want the focus to move from Johnny and either split it or more to this other to another character. So the names that he mentions during this recent interview. First one is Charlie Sheen, so 2.5 Men fame.
Tiger Blood, man, Tiger Blood.
Tiger Blood, yeah. Nicolas Cage. He mentions Nicolas Cage, which
history of swear words, history of
hilarious.
Wow.
Robert Downey Jr. And then he also mentioned Sean Penn. So I don't know if any of these actors, since Duncan, you had a reaction right away. Would any of these actors replacing Ralph Macchio get you excited?
No.
No, not when you see what those guys look like today, right? I was thinking you were going to say, I was thinking you were going to say like Rob Lowe, because he was around that age, around that time, and
it might have been too, yeah.
And Rob Lowe has aged very well, and he could have been like a now, and that would have been a huge hit for them.
What would have been really funny, although completely undoable. Speaking of being the same age. Wasn't it like Thomas Ian Griffin, the guy who plays Terry Silver? He was actually the same age as Ralph Macchio.
Right.
In that third movie? That's hilarious.
He's meant to be this older guy or whatever. They're actually roughly the same age. So
yeah.
I would like to see Thomas Ian Griffin playing Ralph Macchio's role just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, it's crazy. Notoriously, Ralph Macchio, I think he's 57 years old right now. Always looked young for his age, so that's kind of funny.
Unfortunately, he can't really fight, man, and you can tell, and it's tough to watch.
Well, that's why.
He's like 60. I mean, like I think somebody mentioned in the last podcast. I think Duncan, maybe he's really stiff, and unfortunately, it kind of takes away from it.
That's what stunt doubles are for. And I don't blame him. If he's an older guy and he didn't kind of continue practicing these things, it's really hard to get that flexibility. Speaking as an old guy myself, if you didn't have it before, if you had it before, you can get it. But if you didn't have it, it's going to be a little tricky for you. So we're this character is pretty much as he is. Maybe they'll turn him around, or maybe he'll step away. But I do kind of feel a little bit bad for him, because he does seem like a really nice guy, Ralph Macchio. But maybe it's just because Johnny Lawrence William is just stealing the show. He's like, I feel like he's really good at kind of taking the punishment, making the jokes, being this kind of a rough and tumble kind of guy that you want to see flip over. So speaking of flip overs, let's talk about a little bit more about season 4. So a little segment I call "Curse Your Sudden but Inevitable Betrayal." So a lot of characters just flip side to side this one. So I was wondering who you got your money on to flip for next season. So the choices I came up with were Miguel, Robbie, Hawk, and Tori, flipping sides. I don't know if you guys want to add anyone else to the mix, or if you like one of those characters. Tim, you want to go first?
Evil Bert. Can we do that?
If you want.
But it has to be a flip to the bad side? No, it can just be any flip. I feel like the flip that has to come is Robbie has to go back to good. I don't know that you can have him be the son of Johnny Lawrence, who's the redeeming character, the initial student of Miyagi-Do, who was the good guy in season 1. Like, I feel like you got to bring him back at some point. So that annoys me a little bit, that I feel like that's got to be on the table.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah. You got a lot of work to do to like get you on his side, I think, like you were saying before too. So.
Yeah. Which the only thing they could do would be to flip him good and have him, do some heroic scene or something like that to try to put him in our good graces.
Yeah.
I feel like they've done it too much. I feel like they can't flip him now. I feel like he has to stay as the villain. Duncan, is your money on any of these guys?
I think it could go either way for the reasons that Tim said, that you said, John. Like it's tough to say. To your point, Robbie's kind of gone the whole I'm conflicted, I'm good and bad, I'm good and bad, I'm good and bad, whatever. Now the spinners landed firmly on bad, so I see at least a season of him being bad. So I think they're all set up for it. I mean, I think I'd go with Tori because she's got that whole I'm looking after my mother kind of thing, and I wanted the right thing, and I'm all PO'd at everyone. The world sucks, whatever. But I think they're kind of teeing that one up for later in season 4. I think anyway.
Yeah. I think for sure that character. It seems like she's just this season they especially talked about it's her circumstance that kind of puts her in this.
Yeah.
Although it felt like she was really trying to murder Sam this season. Yeah. So I don't know if they can
like, humanize her, I guess, and kind of show you because she's taking care of her mom, things like that. It's just she comes off as a kind of a bad person. So it's like they kind of failed in that sense, I think, and to set that one up.
Yeah. So your money's not on Tori, Chris. Do you take any of these other guys?
I actually would have said Tori if I had to be different, I guess. Who's the other people on the table?
I threw out Miguel, Robbie,
evil Aisha.
Oh yeah, shows up.
I think she should stay away just so we can get off this. My issue with the show is the high school stuff. I'd say Miguel, sure. To be different. Yeah. To really make everyone really angry. It should only last like maybe half an episode and then kind of flip them right back. Yeah, I think it'll make everyone angry. I don't know. Like,
I think Sam is more likely to flip than Miguel at this point.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I can't do it. I tried to like talk myself into it as I was saying it. You can't just say I agree. It's the same as this. I'm trying to be.
I didn't give you many choices though, so that's on me. I don't know if anyone in the comment.
What you care about is on the right side about now, right? So
yeah. So if anyone in the comments has got a character that they think is going to be on a different side next season, definitely let us know. So we're coming up on an hour here, so I do have one kind of last question for you guys, and it's regarding the music in the show. So I want to know what your favorite track in the show would be. And I will add Best Around, or You're the Best. I think it's called You're the Best, not Best Around. You're the Best, Joe Esposito, which I believe hasn't shown. I thought it showed up in first season, but it didn't show up as far as I can tell. And another one, Peter Cetera, Glory of Love, the theme from Karate Kid 2. I'm actually surprised neither of those songs have shown up. I don't know if they're holding them off or they're just too expensive to get. But season 1 closed with I Want It All from Queen. Which was pretty cool. Season 2 closed with 2 versions of Cruel Summer, one from the original Bananarama, and one is a remix version from Kari Kimmel. And then season 3, which my brother told me, I thought it was a Phil Collins track, but apparently it's a cover by the Proto Man, which does sound really cool, of In the Air Tonight, which is really cool. The whole ending where everyone comes out to the Miyagi-Do dojo, and then Johnny Lawrence comes out from Johnny Lawrence, and all this Cobra Kai kind of guys come up from, and they do that, and then the song kicks in. So I don't know what would make it onto your playlist, either workout or just kind of like chilling. Let's go with we'll go to Duncan last because I know he's really into music. Let's go with Chris, my brother, first.
I would say the In the Air Tonight, because that drop, I guess, to the drum solo. It's like if you can time it right and get it right into like when you're in a good rep,
when you're just about to
range, you're just sitting there. I think it's like 3 minutes until it happens. So you're just sitting there, it's like, and you just go. That's it. That's my kind of workout.
All right. What would be part of your Taibo kickboxing routine, Tim?
Oh man, no. I guess I'd have to say my favorite Karate Kid song though has to be "You're the Best," right? Yep. Which so annoying to Instagram, all the executive Instagram people that are watching this. You can't get that song on our stories, John. Like Why is that song not selectable? I don't understand.
I thought John had it on one of his.
It's like some knockoff version, like it's some remix or something that some guy does. But you can't get the original version, which is annoying. I'm gonna go with that song. And just because we're talking about music, I'm gonna give a shout out to my buddy Martnello, who's a DJ, released a new song on Spotify today. So check him out, Martnello. He's got a couple songs now that have come out.
Okay, we'll try and throw that link. Send me the link, Tim, and we'll try and throw it in the bottom of the description here. I wonder if it's someone else owns that right, or if that artist Joe Esposito or whatever owns that right. I've seen him pop onto random YouTube videos and play and sing the song. So I'm like, it's not like he's like disappeared from the earth or something.
The rights must be on a different service or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go, Duncan. What would you choose, or would you do like an amalgamation of all of them together? Which one?
Tough call. So my connection wigging out on me. It knows it's a hard question to ask. Which tough one. I mean, like I gotta go with like Tim with you're the best. Like that's iconic, man. Like that's tough not to get pumped up for. I hate running, but I'll run to that song. I wanted to say "Cruel Summer," but just because that's what I remember from 35 years ago. But I actually was a little bit disappointed that I feel like I don't know Insider stuff that well. I think of Twisted Sister and Quiet Riot and that whole scene there. I kind of when they do something like that, they do like a cover of what he did like in the '80s. Instead, he plays what I'm guessing is either a song I don't recognize from then, or it's like a new song, a solo song. They had a great opportunity there to do something like for Miguel to get introduced into
Yeah. I was like, how come this is not a song I recognize? I'm pretty sure this is a famous dude. I've seen him before.
Oh yeah, Dee Snider's probably like, hey guys,
Snyder, man.
I want to drop. I think the kids will really like it. No one gives a crap about the new song, Dee Snider. We want to hear the old stuff.
Is that Simpsons bit where they're like taking care of business and we got some new stuff taking care of I think that's a Simpsons bit.
It is.
Oh man. All right. So Sarah, Tim's sister, drops Sweep the Leg by No More Kings, which was a music video that dropped a while back, and it was actually I think the music video was written, directed, and starring William Zabka, and it cameoed pretty much everyone. Almost everyone. I think Ralph Macchio was in it, and most of the Cobra Kai guys were.
Oh, that's right. No, we're only like an hour into it, and we're talking about your favorite moments. But how about that scene in the church? Was it Bobby?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, how to bring that up.
Yeah, no, I almost forgot. I thought that character was going to come back a little more, so maybe he will be a bigger part of the story later on. But again, I'm vibing here with Sarah again. I choose "Glory of Love," which was the theme to Karate Kid 2. It was just such an iconic song, and you hear it on the radio all the time. And as soon as you walk into a store and it's playing on the radio, you start thinking Karate Kid fight to the death in Okinawa. glory of love. Let's go! Like a knight in shining armor.
Knives around you. Make sure there are none.
Oh man, but yeah, all right. So I think that pretty much wraps us up for this season 3. Unless you guys got any kind of parting thoughts on that. Thank you again, guys, for doing this for me. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
All right, and any last thoughts, Tim, Duncan, Chris?
I think we said it all.
Yeah,
we'll see you again in 2022 when season 4 drops. Maybe before then.
Yeah. This is the definitive panel for the show. So
it must be.
Oh, sorry, I forgot last thing. So money on who shows up upcoming cameo. Hilary Swank or Jaden Smith. We kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier. Hilary Swank is being confirmed to be in continuity with this movie. Jaden Smith, no, but Will Smith is a producer on this show. So Tim, I know you're a big Hilary Swank fan.
I am. Hilary Swank is already part of the Netflix family too, because she's had some direct to Netflix movies, which were pretty amazing. So I feel she's got to come in, but next season, I feel like she's going to be a bigger character than just a one-off like Elizabeth Shue. So I'm going to say it's Hilary Swank, but that's going to be season 5. Yeah. And Yeah, that's my guess. I think next year we already know who our guest stars are going to be.
Yeah. All right. Chris O.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Will Smith, I don't think he's ever probably stepped foot on set or met anybody in the cast or anybody who works on the show, but he's a producer. He probably owns the rights because, that year he tried to force his son on all of us. So yeah, let's just say Jaden Smith because, he it's Will Smith could just be like, hey man, it's time for you now. Let's go. Let's be on this really popular show on Netflix. Let's get you in there. And he'll show up.
Season 4, another dojo is going to show up, and it's going to have Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith
and Hilary Swank.
And funny, and that's what nullifies the agreement, basically, because the agreement was between the 3 dojos that one is going to go away. So if Jackie Chan shows up with his students and beats them, then they don't have to go away, and then we still have more John Kreese. Duncan, do you have your money on anybody, Hilary Swank or Jane Smith, or you don't want to see either of them?
I'm in complete agreement with Tim. I say it's Hilary Swank, probably season 5. They're going like season. This last season we saw the stuff from Karate Kid 2. Next season we're going to see stuff from Karate Kid 3. It stands to reason. The season after that will probably be the next Karate Kid. So I'd say Hilary Swank.
Yeah. All right. Oh, and I forgot. I have one more thing for you guys. I got a pitch for some new shows. I don't know if you guys came up with anything. So I'll run my. If you guys wanted to go first, anyone got a show idea that they wanted to go first? No.
No.
All right. So first resurrection done in the basically we want to take the Cobra Kai idea and maximize profit on it and just release something else along those lines. So first option is Elizabeth Shue comes back in an Adventures in Babysitting follow-up. So originally they did try to have a TV show for this movie that fizzled out, and they did do they were going to do one remake, and Miley Cyrus was attached to it and a bunch of other people, and then that didn't happen. And then they did some random remake in 2016. Didn't really strike. So I don't know if you want to see Elizabeth Shue back. I thought she was pretty good in that episode. And now my other show is going to be called Two Utes. So I don't know if you know where I'm going with this. My Cousin Vinny spin-off featuring Ralph Macchio, Joe Pesci, Marissa Tomei, and I forgot who played the other guy in the pair that they were wrongly accused for a crime. So if you haven't seen My Cousin Vinny, definitely I think that still holds up. But all the key players from that movie are still available and active. So we could get them in for a show. So I don't know if you guys have any interest in watching either of these shows. No, everyone's laughing. No,
I don't know.
You didn't really sell me on the babysitter one, saying they already tried to remake it. Yeah, we didn't talk about the Ali cameo at all, but I thought that was done pretty well.
It was. There's so many good. Like I feel now that we're kind of remembering, like there are a lot of good moments.
If you watch the Netflix After Party show about Cobra Kai, Elizabeth Shue is on it, and contrary to what the internet was reporting before about saying that she had kind of declined the show a few times, or like when they were kind of making it, they do end up saying that, or she comes on the after party and says that, hey, I always wanted to be on this. I wanted to have a bigger role. I wanted to have my own dojo. Like she wanted to be a big part of this. So, I mean, she seems fully vested in it, which was pretty cool. So, her cameo was really good, and perhaps we'll see more of her, but it feels like they've pushed her aside now.
Yeah, I think it was fine if she's not going to, obviously, like you said, be a big part of it. Then just to have her, come in 2 episodes,
have her good moments.
Yeah, hug, bye. That's it.
Yeah, that's the big theme of this whole season, right? Like the subplot in almost every episode was some kind of reconciliation. So that seems to be that was the kind of the final loose end they kind of tie up.
Yeah, they have the dinner together, and then they're kind of reminiscing, and then I think Daniel or Johnny, does he finally call Daniel instead of LaRusso, or does Daniel finally call Johnny instead of Lawrence? Or so, I don't remember what they kind of call each other by their proper name at some point.
Yeah,
and then they kind of like seems like they're going to be friends. So
well, that's a big psycho. It's a big psycho.
Yeah, a misunderstanding coming
not again. Up. How dare they? Not again.
It's all about it's. You know what? I think it's something you have to do in writing to kind of do these kind of turns and things like that. I feel like this show is picking or attempting to pick the most kind of clever option. So I do appreciate that. So I guess sorry, I kept you guys an extra like 10, 15 minutes to pitch my Two Utes show.
Well, now it's
Mr.
documented
Tomei,
now, so
The fans are glad.
we know who had it first.
We'll send you a bill, don't worry.
All right. Thank you very much for doing this, guys. Chris and Duncan, do I still have your exclusive on social media, or can we find you guys anywhere else?
Nah, you know it, man. I'm exclusive to you, bud.
Oh, same. Sorry, I'm muted. Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I
So
do have an Instagram account, but there's nothing on it. So
yeah. Okay. I often tag him, but he never responds, so that's fine.
I don't know how to use it, man. I'm like Johnny Lawrence, man.
You can throw it in the beach. Tim, where can they find more of you?
Yeah, man. XX_TimboSlice_XX, and continue to support local, guys. We're here talking about Cobra Kai, and that's all cool. But go support your local business. Hit up Heroes World for all your stuff. All this stuff you see behind me, it's all from Heroes World. Go pick up some cool stuff, man. So you got nothing else to do during quarantine. And remember, for our leader, you must rester à la maison. So you got nothing to do. Go get some curbside.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tim. So if you guys are watching this on the YouTube, please subscribe, hit the notification so you can know when we go live and do kind of silly stuff like this. So hopefully I can have you guys all back again for the next season and maybe for some other projects. So thank you very much. And thank you everyone in the comments for watching. Shout outs to, it looks like a lot of Tim's family in there.
I still can't see the comments. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm trying not to go on my phone. I don't get what happened.
Yeah, this I think JB agreed with you. I don't know if that's one of your phantom.
Yeah, of course.
your sister's making fun of your French, so I feel like I should pop that comment.
Nobody gets that reference. That's what Ford said, man. Ford said it. Worse than that.
But anyways, thank you again for tuning in, folks. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk again.